Welcome back. You are watching KTN News Desk. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, the National Super Alliance has expressed concern over alleged use of state resources by the Jubilee administration to campaign for itself. Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula have sounded the alarm, saying state resources should not be used in partisan politics. The leaders were speaking this morning in Nairobi. Let's listen in.
State officers, both national and county, from directly and indirectly participating in political party electoral campaigns. Further, the IEBC authored Code of Conduct and the Elections Offences Act under Section 14 prohibits government officers from showcasing government projects during election campaign time or using government projects as a campaign tool. It is IEBC that is under legal obligation to enforce the Election Offences Act and its own election code of conduct on candidates, whether incumbent or in the opposition. For the period before the IEBC declaration of the official commencement of election campaigns and after the IEBC official campaign declaration, the Jubilee Party, through the President, Deputy President, Cabinet Secretaries, Principal Secretaries, and heads of parastatals, have flagrantly violated the Elections Act under the watchful eyes of IEBC and abetting by the DCI and the NCIC, that is Kaparo's commission. Kenyans who may not be aware of the gross abuse of office by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his cohorts should know that the IEBC, the DCI, and DPP are aware of the violations but are conveniently colluding to defraud citizens of free, fair, and credible elections. For example, when the head of government's chief revenue...
All right, let's now speak to our reporter, Nicholas Wambua, who covered that function earlier on in the morning for us. Nicholas is joining us from our city centre studios from the NASA Secretariat in Lavington. Good afternoon, Nicholas. Apart from these allegations against the IEBC, there are a number of issues surrounding this particular election. Which of them were raised by these two co-principals in NASA?
Thank you very much, Akisa. And just to start with is that NASA co-principal, that is Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, and James Orengo, the lawyer, were here, and they pronounced themselves clearly that they have already sent a letter to the DPP, Director of Public Prosecutions, to make sure that with names being vindicated as being used or using state machinery or state resources to do their campaigns around the country. And just mentioning one of the persons that they mentioned was the President Uhuru Kenyatta, with the visits that he's making all over the country and in many places, like for example in Kisii, whereby he gave a check or he gave some cash to cater for the IDPs or the internally displaced persons in that county. And they're terming this as they're saying that the president should go there as a president but not as a Jubilee leader, because when he's using the public or the state resources, then that goes against the law. So that was what the NASA co-principals had come here to talk about, and just saying that they are ready or they're going to counter any sort of use of state resources by any person, no matter the class, to make sure that they do not infringe the law concerning this matter. And Akisa, from yesterday, whereby NASA, the co-principals again, pronounced themselves on the procurement of on the procurement process that was used to give the tender to Al Ghurair, that is for the printing of the elections papers. They're saying that right now the report by KPMG is out. That is in the auditing of the voter register. Therefore, they're now tasking the IEBC to show what the steps that they're taking next to ensure that those that were mentioned as dead in the voter register are out. Therefore, they are saying that IBC should pronounce itself clear right now on that matter to make sure that just as we head to the general election, that we don't see things or we don't experience people being pronounced as they are coming from death to come and vote. So these are just some of the issues that are rising, Akis, and just to mention again is that the NASA now is heading to Kajiado, whereby they are holding rallies in different places, whereby they are going to hold their major rally or the last rally in Kajiado today in Akel grounds, and they are going to be, of course, we're expecting that these are some of the issues that they are going to use in their campaigns in that county as some of the members. Yes, Akisa.
All right. Nicholas, we're coming to you in just a moment. Just hold that thought. We have a breaking story from the sports desk. Gor Mahia's Brazilian head coach, Jose Zimaria Ferreira, has resigned as the head coach of the club. According to sources, the Brazilian resigned after the club reneged on some of their pledges. He handed in his resignation letter Thursday morning, citing misunderstanding. The club insisted the Brazilian made ridiculous demands, but did not expound on what the demands were. Zimaria was appointed Gor Mahia head coach in March 2016 when the club was struggling to find its footing as soon as Frank Natal left the club. He led the club to the inaugural SportPesa Super Cup title after beating arch-rivals FC Leopards 3-0 in the final away in Dar es Salaam. All right, let's wrap it up for our KTN home viewers. But remember, we will be back with more on KTN News. A lot is happening.